weekend go. It's Power Hour SEC Hog Live. Arkansas fans, you guys have shown me the most love on this SEC channel. So throughout the season, every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, we will do a show that will mostly center around Arkansas, but we will talk about the rest of the SEC as well. Now, I will say, tonight, I do have to go to a friend's visitation. I just want to say this aloud. Health is wealth, whether it's physical or mental. Get your checks up and stay on top of everything. And tonight, we were actually going to do a fantasy draft and give away this KJ Jefferson rookie card, a silver from the National. But guess what? We will push the draft back. If you do want to join the draft, the link is in the chat right there with Underdog Fantasy. And when you do sign up with Underdog Fantasy, guess what? You help me out in a major way. So make sure you check it out, Underdog Fantasy, underdogfantasy.com. Got to use that promo code Carter. And once you use that promo code, you are definitely helping the Power Hour SEC movement. Now, I want to talk a lot today about the LSU and Arkansas rivalry in particular. That game is coming up a little bit later this year. I will be at that game, and I would like to meet all our Power Hour subscribers, whether it's with my main thing, Power Hour LSU, or if it's with this channel. And I want to shout out Cole is the hole. I'd say Cole is a hole. Kale is a whale. We actually do have a Cole is a hole. It's always been a strange username, but Kale is a whale is obviously one of our top viewers, holding it down in Benton, Arkansas. So there you go. I do want to talk about Dwight McGLOTHERN tonight. This is a very interesting player who actually began his career at LSU. I was very familiar with him coming over from Texas. I want to talk about this defense as a whole for Arkansas. Some players that I have grown on over this offseason that I think could be absolutely massive for you guys. And I want to start with Dwight McGLOTHERN. I also want to give you guys some reasonable expectations for what Arkansas could be this next year. Could they be in a position where they can actually win the SEC West this year? I want you to give me your honest responses in the comment section below if you're watching this down the road, or if you're watching right now, let me know. Okay? So I truly do believe this, all right, from the bottom of my heart with Dwight McGLOTHERN. I think he could be an All-American this year. Now, do I believe he is one of the best corners in college football? No, I wouldn't put him on the JaQuincy Kool-Aid McKinstry level, but I would say this. He does play a position that rewards aggression, right? We've seen this with the Dallas Cowboys at the next level. Trayvon Diggs is not the best corner in the NFL, but he gets a lot of interceptions. He takes a lot of chances. Dwight McGLOTHERN, that is his best attribute. He is really good at picking off passes, right? You had the big interception in the Cincinnati game. You had the big interception in the Arkansas game. For our LSU viewers, you remember the interception he had versus Florida in 2021. He is a really big-time player when it comes to ball skills. And one very underrated trait that he does have as well is he has good return ability after he actually catches it. So it helps flip the field position. Now, I do think the secondary as a whole, as far as stopping people, they need to get better. Now, I'm not going to say some of the corners and safeties last year for Arkansas who struggled, because those guys are now out the door, okay? But now you take a look at what they brought in the transfer portal. This Arkansas secondary should be better this year. I was also on not necessarily a kick here, but I truly do believe two other Arkansas defenders will be really good players for you guys. I like Tank Booker a lot. The transfer coming in from Maryland, I think he could be a very interesting player. And I also think Poop Hall is a modern-day linebacker. He's not the biggest guy, but he is a really good blitzer and he is a really good playmaker. So I have grown on those two. Okay. Christian wants to talk about your latest Arkansas commitment. He is a player for the class of 2026. Now, full disclosure, I am not of the belief that you should talk about rising high school sophomores. Now, is it a good commitment? Yes. Anytime you get, a 2026 4-star, anytime you get a 4-star commitment, especially at Arkansas, you should be excited. I know nothing about this guy. I think you're going to drive yourself crazy if you start worrying about rising high school sophomores. Now, with that said, let's be real here. You are in a good spot in recruiting, better than you have been in recent years. Now, this is not me trashing the young man at all. It's just a long time, right? 2025, I could get a rising high school junior. A lot of those kids start to commit, but it is a while. It is a while. And here's an Arkansas fan. I'm just worried about him decommitting because it is a long time. Shane in Michigan, good to see you. So there you go. But since you guys want to talk about it, I'll put him up on the screen. Okay. 2026 Arkansas commitment. I've even forgotten his name because it just happened. Okay. This is one of my good friends, and he'll be on the show pretty soon. Andrew Hutchinson, Best of Arkansas Sports. They do a really, really good job with their website. Okay. So here you go. Tay Lockett from St. John Bosco, okay, in Bellflower, California. St. John Bosco, that's where the Uiagalelais are from, the Oregon State and former Clemson quarterback. This has been obviously a school that's produced a lot of really good players, and it looks like he is going to play wide receiver, okay? So he's committed pretty early. Pretty good stuff. But then again, it's still very early. So, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. I don't know how long we're going to go tonight because I do have that thing I have to go to. But I want to be real with you, Arkansas fans. All right. I've grown on Tank Booker. I've grown on Pooh Paul. I've grown a little on Dwight McGLOTHERN. I always thought he was a good player. I had a good conversation with an SEC expert earlier today. All right. He's been betting games for quite some time, and he's a little worried about Travis Williams. Okay. I wouldn't think anybody would consider UCF's defense a Georgia level defense. But I do think a few things are going in his favor. I think playing in a more aggressive defense excites the players that are on your team a little bit more. I also think this year in the SEC, we will see some clunky offense, right? Bryce Young left. Jahmyr Gibbs left. A lot of great offensive players left at all these different universities. I think Texas A&M's offense still has the potential to be clunky, even though they returned a lot of really good players. Think about this, Arkansas. You play the Florida Gators this year. And normally with Arkansas schedules, you get shafted. But this year, you actually catch some good breaks, right? BYU is down. This is a team that lost their starting quarterback and their best wide receiver. Florida lost their first-round draft pick quarterback. So you're catching some teams that are in an offensive rebuilding year, right? I think the Arkansas defense has a far better slate than the murderer's row of offenses that they had to play last year. So it's obviously I think it's going to be a really, really good season for you guys defensively. No. Kale, you should be excited. I'm not tempering things down. Anytime you get someone of that caliber, you should be excited. Recruiting is the lifeblood of your program. It's just, for me, for those that have been following me for a while now, I barely talk about 2025s. Like or essentially I barely talk about guys that are rising juniors, and this is a rising sophomore who is in California. A lot can change, right? So it's interesting. Playing in an aggressive defense is fun when it works. Once you start getting beat consistently and losing, it isn't fun anymore. That's true. The key is stopping people, right? And look, Arkansas just didn't do that last year. The secondary was woefully bad. And I will say that was probably one of the worst secondaries I've ever seen in the SEC. That's really saying something. That's a position, that teams have had some rough units. So let's be real. No, I know. I'm making you think who's going to be trash. Jaden Hazelwood was a former 5-star before he transferred from OU. Yeah, and the DB you brought in from Georgia, I think, had a 5-star rating as well. Now, next thing, what I don't want to do, all right, on this channel is we do become so quarterback focused at times because it is the most prevalent position, and American sports is a very star-driven thing. But for those that missed it, on Tuesday, I released a deep dive on KJ Jefferson that's centered around a very interesting stat. Okay. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. When you are Arkansas Razorback fans and you watch this Thursday night live stream, you like Arkansas football more than me. I understand that wholeheartedly. So I'm looking at this rather objectively, and I'm going to share a stat with you. And here's the thing. All right. I think a lot of you did watch the video on Tuesday. If not, check it out. It's the last video. It's KJ Jefferson on the thumbnail. And I cannot say this enough. He is the most loyal player in the SEC. And that's just facts, right? He is the only year 5 or year 6 quarterback who is a starter next year who returned to his initial school out of high school. Okay. And what I notice, and you guys know I do these deep dives, quarterbacks transfer. They transfer at a high rate. But what really blew me away was how many quarterbacks transferred from good offenses, transferred from incumbent head coaches. So there wasn't a coaching change. There wasn't an OC change. They still left. They still did. We saw this with Peyton Thorne at Michigan State, and we got a big Peyton Thorne video coming out this weekend. Peyton Thorne left Michigan State to go to Auburn. Peyton Thorne was a 2-year starter at Michigan State. They returned their head coach. They returned their OC. He still said sayonara. Devin Leary at NC State. They returned their head coach. He still said, see you later, Wolfpack. It's crazy, right? Sam Hartman had a really good thing going at Wake Forest. A really good thing. He went in sync and said, bye, 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 baby. And he went to Notre Dame. And you keep going down the list. There were over 50 quarterbacks who will be starting next season who are either a year 5 or year 6 quarterback. Only one is returning to his initial Power 5 school. So I say this to all Arkansas fans. I'm looking at you, whoever you are, whether you're in Benton, whether you're in Hope, Jonesboro, God forbid, kidding. Camden, Magnolia, no matter where you are, you can be a Razorback around the world. What KJ Jefferson did this offseason, sticking with Arkansas, is unprecedented, right? I know that sounds crazy, but more quarterbacks leave than stay. They're either in the NFL by now. They're either not good enough to play Division I Power 5 football. But most of them that were good or were starting at their old school were not loyal. They said, no, I am leaving. I'm tired of this. And all KJ Jefferson has done is play through injuries. All KJ Jefferson has done has mended the Morris to the Sam Pittman transition. All he has done is carry this team on his back, a team that had fluctuating and inconsistent play from skilled position guys, inconsistent play from his offensive line, sporadic, erratic play calling from Kendall Briles. By the way, KJ's going to have to deal with another offensive coordinator at this juncture in his career. And, my LSU viewers, my Power Hour LSU viewers say, why do you like KJ Jefferson so much? I always say this, right? I am not the most independent person. I need help. I am not a very talented person. My wife does a lot of the heavy lifting for me to get me through my life. Okay? I've had a great family. Her family's really good to me. So I envy people that are so unbelievably talented that can carry an organization. Okay? This is a guy who carried this Arkansas team. I think they're a 3-win team without him. And instead, last year you won 7. I don't remember a time where one player represented a true change in 4 victories quite like him. Now, there are other players that are better than him. This guy back here being one of them. There's plenty of players who are better than him. Bryce Young's better than him. Caleb Williams is better than him. But I'm telling you right now, there's nobody more valuable. Now, I'll say this. The schedule next year for Arkansas is easier. So I think a more replacement level quarterback could make you better. I think your backup quarterback situation is better with Jacoby Criswell now. But I'm telling you right now, this guy right here is him. And I envy people that can do the things that he is able to do. He is a one-man wrecking crew. Now, are there other really talented players on Arkansas's offense? Yes. Bo Limmer, Rocket Sanders, so on and so on. Okay? Still, this man is someone you should appreciate even more than you probably already do. And notice there was never a report that he was floating with the transfer portal, never a report that he was flirting with the NFL draft. I would have definitely done that to get more money. And I'm sure he's taken care of with NIL. But even if you would have just said, hey, I'm thinking about it. Imagine if KJ said, hey, or someone close to KJ said, hey, let's see if there's anyone out there in the portal that would want my services. You know how much money he could have gotten on the open market? Like, for real, how many college quarterbacks in all of college football, how many would trade their quarterback right now for KJ Jefferson? How many? I would say a majority. There's probably 10 teams that wouldn't. Maybe 10, right? Obviously, USC wouldn't. North Carolina wouldn't. I don't think LSU would. Florida State wouldn't. There's probably, obviously, Washington wouldn't. Oregon wouldn't with what they have. But still, it's wild. Absolutely wild that this guy's done what he's been able to do and kept the program together. Could you imagine if Grayson McCall went to Auburn this year? That would have been a good fit. That would have been nasty. But you guys do not want to miss the Peyton Thorne deep dive. There's some Arkansas flavor mixed in there as well. I saw someone comment on this recently. I did not know Bo Nix was born in Arkadelphia. I did not know that. Like when I was researching him for the KJ video earlier this week, I was like, dang. It's interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, let's see. Don't forget, sign up now, Underdog Fantasy. This will be the draft. that you can win the KJ Jefferson rookie card. Okay, we'll give out a few other prizes. We'll give one out for second place as well. I got 2 of them. Okay. There's all your rules and stuff like that with Underdog. Underdog Fantasy, UnderdogFantasy.com. Big time supporters. Let's do this. Okay. I like to use Best of Arkansas Sports. That's my favorite Arkansas website. I do read 247 and all the other ones. Let me put up stuff from Otis Kirk, a very successful writer. Pig Trail Nation. I think I've met Otis before. Not sure. Let's see. Arkansas depth chart. Let's go to the secondary. Let's see what he thinks about who's starting where. Like we said earlier, Dwight McGLOTHERN and Jaheim Singletary, the transfer from Georgia, who was a 5-star. Jalen Braxton and Keon Stewart as the backups. Okay. Orlando Snacks Johnson as like the nickel here. Okay. Played for Dave Aranda, so that's always a really good defensive coach to learn from. I still think Dave Aranda is the premier defensive mind in the sport. Maybe some LSU bias mixed in there. Jalen Lewis. Then we got Hudson Clark and Alf Walcott. There's your starting secondary according to Pig Trail Nation. These are my 3 guys for the defense next year. Chris Paul, Tank Booker. All right. I know he's not listed as a starter with Cameron Ball and Torian Carter, but I think Tank Booker will be the best defensive tackle by the end of the year. I know a lot of you like Eric Gregory because he's been with Arkansas for a few years now. So there you go. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. No, I believe it. I think Arkansas last year is a 3-win team without KJ Jefferson. Truly do believe it. Now, here's the next thing. In the next 10 or 15 minutes, I'm going to answer as many questions as we possibly can. But if you super chat, we'll keep it going. If you want to support what we're doing, you can also hit that $. My Venmo and Cash App is also at Card of the Power right here. If you want to donate there. For my LSU folks, I will be doing my normal Power Hour LSU show a little bit later. Mike and M wants to talk the Missouri transfer, Trajan Jeffcoat. Let's do it. Obviously, it's interesting when you look at like someone like him. Let me make sure if he was I think he was actually a 2017 recruit. And let's see. Let me make sure. He's a 2018 guy. So he's a year 6 player. All right. Now, I do agree with you. Trajan Jeffcoat's a really nice player. I don't think he's special. I think he's a guy who will be strong enough to hold up against a run. He's an adult, being a year 6 guy. I don't think you're going to see like an elite pass rusher, a guy that bends the edge. So like I don't think he's going to be like Dietrich Wise or someone like that. But could I see him being a very solid player for them? Absolutely. Absolutely. I like Lorando a lot. Right now, Kale, like I said, I'm a Dave Aranda guy, and Dave Aranda, of course, was his head coach at Baylor. Um, so yeah, pretty excited about him. My top impact transfer for Arkansas. So the truth here is, you got a lot better transfers on the defensive side of the football. But let me know what you think. Obviously, I'm a little bit higher than most on Tank Booker from Maryland, so we'll see. On the offensive side of the football, obviously Isaac Tesla is going to get a lot of love. Or I know there's been different pronunciations of how his last name should actually be pronounced. You have Armstrong coming in for Texas A&M Commerce. Kale, I am a little worried about your skill guys overall, right? Like, there's going to be so much on Luke Haas, the true freshman tight end. There's going to be so much on his plate. Being a true freshman tight end is really hard. So yeah, I think for me, it should be it should be interesting to see what skill guys actually come to the forefront. Varkey Scum, the transfer about the tight end transfer out of North Texas. He's originally from New Orleans. Should be very interesting. I liked his North Texas highlights. He obviously wore number 30, which is a weird number for a tight end, but there you go. He obviously he's got ball skills. I don't think you're going to see him be like an elite blocker per se, but yeah, very excited about him. I think him and Luke Haas will battle it out for tight end. So there you go. I see what you did there. Tesla is electric. Just don't forget the last time we played y'all with the Enos, we blew y'all out. Cool. I'm supposed to get excited about a game in what was that, 2015, 2016? I just don't care about that. Let's see. Derek, thank you for the super chat. Derek, any topic you want to get to, we'll go straight to it. Okay. Derek's going to be in our underdog draft as well. And we will do that next week. Hopefully on here. I don't know. Thursday Night Football, what time does it start? We might start the live stream a little early. How about that? Next thing you know, Johnny's going to say, well, the last time Jerry Jones was playing for Arkansas, we won a national championship. How far back are we going to go here? Oh man! Next thing you know, we're going to be bringing up some. We're going to be bringing up some Jim Thorpe in this mix. Let's go to Kale the Whale. I'm worried about the offensive line, is what Kale the Whale says. You should be. You should be. I think, I know a lot of people have piled on Kendall Riles. Okay. I'm not particularly a fan of Kendall. I do think he was a really good offensive coordinator, though, at Arkansas. And I know it is so easy to pile on the play caller. I get it. And I know him and Sam, it was an abrasive ending, so it's easy to pile on him. But Arkansas had some of the best rush yard before contact numbers in all of college football, right? that's part of why it's part of why like I'm fading Rocket Sanders just a little bit going into next year, because his rush yard before contact number was so high. It really, really, really was. So, for me, I think when you have that and you have wide open holes to run through, it's different. Forge wants to talk about the Arkansas running backs as a whole. Oh, you want to talk about the throwback Arkansas running backs? It is crazy how many 1,000-yard rushers Arkansas's had since McFadden, right? They had, obviously, rest in peace, Alex Collins. They had Jonathan Williams. How about this one? They had a guy named Michael Smith rush for 1,000 yards. Michael Smith. But as far as this year's running back room, Mal Davis. I mean, I know I'm missing a few others. I think this room should be better. I think it should be deeper. And that's part of why I think Rocket's going to have some regression this year. So there you go. Oh, who am I hating on? Who am I hating on? Who am I hating on? Am I hating on Kale the Whale? I'll never hate on a Benton Panther, baby. That Benton Bryant rivalry goes way back. Let's get him on the show, Kale. Let's get him on the show. You're the plug, man. Oh, wait, the Salt Bowl's in 2 days? I really didn't know. I honestly did not know. Oh man, I kind of want to go. You're going to be there? It's a little bit of a drive though. Salt Bowl. I did not know the Salt Bowl was this weekend. Wait, they really play it? Let me look this up. Really play that this early? That's crazy. Oh, come on, let's not do this. Don't run an ad over the Salt Bowl. That's crazy. Oh, it's in Bryant too. Oh, y'all are done. Y'all are cooked. Who is the best running back in the SEC, Quinshawn or Raheem? I think it's Quinshawn. I do. I think Judkins is better. I think it's Judkins, and the RB2 is probably Sanders, right? Are you a marching band? There you go. Knock it out the park, man. I know they have I know Benton has a good YouTube stream. I know the Benton play-by-play guy, if he's still doing it. So have fun, man. You get to be in a band for a rivalry game? That's cool. Yeah, 2026. We talked about him a little bit earlier. Yeah, and that's what you want, Mike. You don't want to have a 30 carry a game guy again. So there you go. Now, I'll take a few more here. And what we'll do is towards the end of this, we'll chat some other SEC teams as well. So there you go. I do want to chat a few other SEC opinions for just general SEC fans. I will be starting a more like just general SEC show. I got to be honest, Ann. I'm starting to think at this point, when it comes to the Southeastern Conference, I am really fading Alabama at this point. Why am I feeling this way? Just for Nick Saban to crush my soul. Am I really about to talk myself into Texas winning this game in week 2? A few other SEC questions. Jaden. Yeah, we saw a lot of SEC players get some endorsements. As far as like Jaden is concerned, it's not really a surprise. He gets Powerade, he gets Beats by Dre. But what I will tell you, it is interesting that Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe has gotten Roebuck. He's gotten Beats by Dre. He's been the one getting the endorsements, and we don't even know if he's going to be the starter. Mike M says, if the Hogs are ever going to be Bama at Bama, it's going to be this year, in my opinion. And whether it's at Bama or in Fayetteville, I thought last year he had a good shot as well. Yeah, you caught a few breaks. But yeah, I think this is a good opportunity. I will say the one thing about the Arkansas matchup is versus Alabama is KJ's played well in both of these games. So the last 2 games versus Alabama, especially knowing his receivers struggle to get some separation. Now, early in that game, he did miss a pretty big throw, but still overall, I think he played well. You going to the Arkansas game? Let's go. Michael B. Let's go. Campus. Yeah, man, you would be shocked. I am actually 53. I know. It's wild. I age beautiful. Creole don't crack. Henry missed the tackle for us to beat them. Was odd that Tyler Buckner transferred to Bama. Yeah, it was kind of odd. It was. Exactly, Johnny. I just got a haircut too. Now, type Y for yes, type N for no. If you are enjoying the Arkansas Thursday night live streams, type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know. Type Y for yes, type N for no. We'll keep it going. If you guys don't like it and you just want me to do the normal videos, I'll do the normal videos. But this is for you Razorback fans. Okay? Now, for me to keep doing it, you got to tell the world, hey, this guy knows his stuff. SEC football aficionado. Arkansas videos just kill it on the channel. Kill it. It's all thanks to you guys. And it's funny, I used to have like a Power Hour Hogs channel. So there you go. Good. As long as the pups love me, man. Now, I will say this from a general SEC standpoint. What they did to Mason Smith, the LSU defensive tackle, for something that happened 18 months ago, for signing autographs, when there's documentaries out showing how stupid it is that players can't sign autographs or make money. Now they can. But a guy who's recovering from an ACL injury sat out all of last season. That wasn't penalty enough. It's wild. Absolutely wild. Mason is devastated. Spoke to quite a few people on the phone about this last night, but I'll save it for the LSU show. But understand that I hope the NCAA falls into an erupting volcano full of electric eels. I really do. I really, really, really do. And I cannot wait until they're cooked. They're dust. They're irrelevant. Okay? I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget, sign up for this league for your chance to win a KJ Jefferson card right here. We will be doing the draft next week. You can go on ahead and reserve your slot right here. Okay? We'll talk to you next Thursday at 6 p.m. Central. We'll have a Razorback video out probably next Tuesday. We did one on Tuesday. And if you want to see it, let me pull it up. One stat why KJ Jefferson, if he is in Heisman contention, there you go. The video is right there. It is. Actually, that went for my LSU account. Either way, it is. Power Hour SEC. Boom. And tonight, we're doing spaghetti and meatballs, baby. Let's go. Let's go.